2026 models, campervans tested, and the top accessories. This is your monthly camper update. We delve into this month's edition of MMM and go through everything you need to know about campervans and van life. So the first thing that I've noticed was this. This camper is a new one from Bailey, and it's quite interesting because at the minute, the fashion, the buzzword if you like, for campers is off-road. Everything is four-wheel drive, it's got big tyres, it's designed for an expedition. But really, do you actually need all that? This here might be the perfect crossover. Looks like it's going off-road, it's got off-road tyres, it's got the roof racks, it's got light bars, it's got the rooftop tent, but it's a two-wheel drive van, actually probably more practical and what most people need. It's a really good write-up, it's quite an interesting conversion as well. As we flick through, it's got the sunroof over the cab to let loads of lights in. It's done in a nice way. You sometimes find with these vans that they're done inside not as if they're expedition. Inside's normal and outside just looks good. This has actually got a theme that runs all the way through. You can see the plates here. The garage at the back looks very practical, and it's got the fold down rear bed, so you actually get like a walk through space. You could maybe even we could definitely put push bikes there, maybe a motorbike. And then the bed folds down at night. But it's a really good write-up, and it sort of talks about, do you actually need a full expedition vehicle, or do you just want something that looks cool and works really well? And because you're not paying for the four-wheel drive system and everything like that, it's actually quite a bit cheaper. I think this one, if we flick to the end, from 69,999, this one has tested, best part 75 grand, but it's a nice size van, it's a big van, it's based on the Transit, I think it'll be the L2, H2, looking at that. But Bailey, the nice graphics, it's got the pods on the back to get the bed across. Yeah, it looks really good, it's nice, it's got a four-seater dining area at the front. It's a lovely van, and it's a really good review on it. You get all the roof racks and everything, they do look really cool. And like I say, probably everything you need to go camping. You can get across camping fields, it's got the off-roady all-terrain tyres on it. Do you really need more than that? It does say that there's some low underslung water tanks, so it really isn't designed for going full off-road, but it just looks cool. It'll look cool on the campsite, it's very practical, and Bailey do a top job. They've been making caravans for years and years, and now in the campervan world, you can see everything looks manufacturer sort of spec. It looks really nice, the LEDs everywhere. It's a lovely looking van, certainly worth looking at if you're in the market for something that's this size, and you want something that looks a bit different and is, I would say, fashionable, but I also think something that's probably not going to go out of fashion. I think with the off-road look in campervans is probably here to stay. But this is a really practical van. You can even see here that in the bed, the backrest tilts up and means you can relax in bed, and it's just a nice, well thought out campervan. It's definitely worth looking at. Comes with a warranty. There's a few different options on this one. So this one's got the sunroof, which is an option, the adventure pack, which that's the bit we're looking at really. And this one actually had the tent box on the top, which if we look back at the beginning, you can see there, so you get an extra 2 berths in the roof. So this, you sleep 2 in the back, and then you sleep 2 in the tent on top. I personally would have put a pop top on it, might be slightly biased, but essentially it's doing the same thing. The next thing we'll take a look at is this that's been tested. Now this is interesting because it's a hybrid van. So there's not many hybrid camper vans on the market. This one comes from Marquis, where it's through a Spanish firm called Panama, but Marquis are the people that are bringing it into the UK. It is 80 grand, it's a lot of money, but that kind of is what we're looking at these days for brand new vans. Top of the range as well, it's got nice parts on it. Inside, I would say it looks quite bland, if you like. Not bland, that's probably the wrong word, but it's very grayscale. It looks a little bit soulless to me. That's just personal preference. Some people love this. I personally would want a little bit more character in there. I'm sure you can probably spec it with a bit more character if needs be. You can see here it's set up, it's got the swivel seats at the front, it's got the roof open, so you're getting plenty of lighting. Hybrid, you can see there it charges at the front of the van. It'll be interesting to see how people get on and how quickly hybrids adapted into the camper industry. It's not something that people have been particularly keen to take on, and I get that. I'm not the biggest fan, and hopefully there's no reliability issues and things like that, because with new technology does come issues. but it'll be interesting to see. But this one here, you can see it's got the sliding bed system there, so you have a huge load space in the back. It looks a nice conversion. It's fairly standard in terms of what you would expect. Side kitchen, rock and roll bed, roof bed. There's no gas in this van. Obviously the hybrid means that you've got all the electric systems in, so it kind of runs off that. And it's got the induction hob, which is, again, a new introduction into campers, but works really well. There's a lot of people that I know that absolutely love their induction in a van, and not having to buy and keep the gas topped up is a massive bonus. I do think we'll see more and more hybrid vans hitting the market, especially the new Transit, what this is based on. That means it's going to be available on the VW as well, because obviously sharing the same platform, controversially. So they're going to become more and more common, especially as the vans get a little bit older. You'll start seeing some of the smaller converters taking it on and using that technology. So it's interesting really, but I just wanted to point out that this is now coming to market, and certainly it's something to keep an eye on for future years. So the next thing we found was the 2026 models. For now, end of 25 obviously, we start getting the new models being introduced, what's coming next year. The first one that we see is this Globe Traveller. It's based on a van. It is a big van conversion actually. If you look, there's loads of space, there's a side bench seat there, there's bedroom, the back, it's quite a big van. It looks really cool inside with all the lighting. I quite like the finish in this. I'm not normally the biggest fan of a wood effect van, but this looks like it's done really well. It looks modern, looks nice, so that's going to be interesting to see. That will get released in more detail probably next year, but it's definitely worth a look as this. If this is something that you're in the market for, it just looks modern and a bit different, and I'm liking seeing a bit different. We've had too long of camper vans all kind of looking the same, being a bit old-fashioned. It's nice to see that some converters are now bringing some new features, some new design into it, and just changing things up a bit. That's really cool. So yeah, it's worth looking at next year. I'll try and get my hands on one, or at least being able to see one in person. That'd be quite cool. And if we do, I'll obviously show you it. As the owner of Drive Lodge, I'd be daft not to mention it here. We're a family-run business specialising in safe, reliable and ergonomic roofs. For more information, click the link in the description. The next thing we found, a couple of new models from WildAx. Again, slightly looking down the off-roady style. It's got the roofs. Inside's a bit unique in terms of style. I would say it's still slightly old-fashioned in the way it's done, but some people like that. Not my preference, but the models are cool. They've got the pop top, so you've got the bedroom upstairs, which we see more and more of now. It just saves so much space downstairs and opens up so much possibilities and options with the layout. But yeah, it's interesting. Again, this one here, flip down bed. There's two different models here, so it's kind of a quick overview of what's coming out in the industry. But it's nice to see that people are starting to take on this style. Some of the UK converters as well. It's not just the European stuff that's being shipped in. These are obviously a UK-based company and building these on the Ford. But you can see here that bathroom looks that's a really nice modern looking bathroom. That jumped out to me when I was flicking through the magazine when I first got it. But really interesting there. Don't know what price-wise we're looking at. I think, if I remember rightly, they'll be about 85 grand, something like that. So they're not cheap. They are a higher spec van of the WildAx vans. They do put a lot into them. Obviously you pay for that. That's just what it is, and that's just life. But if you're in the market for a top spec van and you've been looking at your options, it's certainly worth considering these. This one was interesting because we're so used to seeing in vans of this size, the rock and roll conversion. So this is the new Westfalia Kipling. The interesting thing here is it's kind of taken what we've seen in the crafters and the Ducato size vehicles and sort of put it into a smaller van. So they've gone for this layout like we've got here, the bed across the back and then space in the front. They've put the pods on the side and they've created a front lounge area and a rear bed with a sort of side kitchen. It's kind of nice to see someone do something so different. You don't really see it very often, but if we flick through here, you can see the bed at the back. You can just see in this here where they put the pod on the side. Obviously they've got the pop top with the ladder up. Really nice, different conversion. There's different options in terms of like they can do 4x4. It is based on the long wheelbase, which is worth noting. So it is quite a big van for I would say the medium-sized vans, but it's on the bigger end of that. And it's just good that Westfalia are doing something out of the ordinary and giving us the options. So you're getting a lounge area, you're getting a bed, but you've got a medium-sized van, so it's really cool. Is that I like this. I'd very much like to see one of these in person, and also price-wise, starting at 65,900. That's a lot of van for the money. In fact, no, I'm wrong. Starting at 60,900. The 65,900 is for the automatic, which, if I'm honest, I'd recommend. You'd probably like to be using that as your everyday vehicle as well as a camper, in which case it's worth having the automatic. It's just so much easier and nicer. But yeah, a really cool van this, worth looking at. Definitely interested to try and see one of these. Just something a bit different. And I think a layout that can really work for a lot of people. The way that people have used camper vans is changing. As a day van, weekend here and there, maybe a week through the summer if you're lucky. And I think this layout does work well with that. It really does, and you get a load of storage under the back. So it'd be interesting to see how this picks up. Hopefully it's the first of many that we see trying a different layout. Yeah, certainly interested in that and well worth a read. The next thing, going away from vans, is accessories, which were all well and good, buying your new van. Once you've bought it, you then need to get some bits to go in it, to use it. Things here, power packs, really helpful. Yes, your van's got power, but having power packs is always just great for the charging phones, the portable, you can put them anywhere. Even things here, dining sets, plates. People forget that they buy the van, all of a sudden they've then got to go and buy all the bits to go in it, like plates, cutlery, all that sort of stuff. So it is worth considering. So the first thing that jumped out at me was this power pack. It is a little bit on the pricey side, however, it's got loads of power, it'll last you all week, even if you're not using your vehicle battery. So you're going to have an excessive amount of power, and it's also not that big. So really worth looking at something like that for your van. Second thing that jumped out at me was this camping chair. We've talked about camping chairs before, but it is worth getting good camping chairs. I won't lie, this style of chair I don't feel is that comfortable. If you can get to a camping shop, try and sit in a few of them. Now, this one here is 20 quid, it's cheap. If you just need a chair to throw in the back and you're going to sit on it occasionally, really good. And the good thing about this style is they fold down really small. However, if you're going to go camping and you're going to be sat in it all night, I'd spend a little bit more. Just get something that's a little bit more supportive, I would say. The other thing I wanted to mention was this solar panel. Solar is almost essential now on vans. Everyone has it, people love it, and it is really good. I've got one, and the technology is constantly improving and being adapted for the camping industry. So here, we've got the weight down. This one here you can put anyway. The good thing with something like this is you don't have to have it mounted to your van. You can stop, throw the solar panel out and it's charging, and you can just lean them against the side of the van if you want. So it's worth looking at different options with the solar. You don't always have to have fixed solar bolted to the top of the van. Let me know your thoughts. If you've seen anything in this month's edition that's jumped out at you, let me know in the comments.